Welcome back. This is part 4 of trying to make a titanium Damascus axe with a Damascus steel edge welded to the titanium Damascus. At the end of the last episode, we heat treated the edge, hardened it, and tempered it. We had planned for our first step to be to test it, but if it breaks, we then don't get to see what it looks like. So we have to finally finish it first.
I'm gonna make everything swoop together in one consistent kind of woo, woo, woo. So I'm gonna get rid of this facet. It's just gonna be all smooth bumps. This is blooming hard work.
So I've been using this big wheel right here so that it's as large a radius as possible as I'm trying to smooth this face of the axe. And it's working really nicely for also kind of getting this contour here. You see the radius is too large to be able to make our little swoop here in the middle. So I'm now going to have to switch down from this to this smaller 5-inch contact wheel. But obviously the trouble is that 5-inch contact wheel is going to be more aggressive. So it's going to be more likely to dig in and make a divot that's really, really hard to grind out. So I'm only switching to that now that we're at 120 grit. And obviously, hopefully, not putting any bad dents in this relatively nice face here and here.
Jamie, however long that clip was is how long this 120 grit belt lasted. 4-5 minutes of grinding.
Point number 1, the belt is already dull. Point number 2, we've got some nasty grooves in there. Yuck. Here we are. A45 Trizact finish, but obviously off a contact wheel, so I don't think it's as good as an A45 Trizact finish if it were on the flat platen of the grinder. I'm worried that it's a little bit bumpy, so what I want to do now is I want to go to some hand sanding and see how far off we are from a good surface finish, because hand sanding, that tells all. Now, you've seen us do plenty of hand sanding with this type of sandpaper, wet and dry. But in our recent travels, I've seen a number of craftspeople using this stuff. Rolls, emery cloth rolls. I need to make like a nice system for holding this somewhere. Look at that! You've seen a disc jockey, but have you seen a hand sanding roll jockey?
I'm a disc jockey. Frickin' lasers! Frickin' lasers! Frickin' lasers!
Who sang that song?
I sampled it from some idiot.
Another little trick I spotted on somebody's Vice at Wesley Richards. Made a little new hand sanding stick with some rubber on it. Why won't it roll? Okay, now it does. Right, let's be optimistic, and I'm gonna start with 320 grit. We're making progress with the 320 grit, but it feels like it is hand sanding strangely, especially in the titanium. I feel like one of the grades of titanium is not taking as nice a polish, and I think it's this one here. The one that looks dullest. It looks almost splotchy. It's getting the grit scratches in it, but it just doesn't have a consistent color to it. And so I guess the structure of one of these grades of titanium just isn't providing a consistent color at the current moment, which might be just fine. What only counts is how it looks after it's been anodized, because that's going to be the finished piece. But obviously, if it's a little bit irregular looking, that material right now, it's likely to be irregular, I would imagine, after anodizing. I think I've got this side here to 320 grit, and so we'll flip her over, do the same on the other. This stuff, I think that I have been hand sanding all wrong my whole life. You'll note that this has a cloth backing on the emery paper as compared to the paper backing on our otherwise very, very nice regular wet and dry hand sanding paper. So this stuff doesn't rip as easily, and the way it dispenses is super practical, and so I think I can officially say rolls of emery cloth is something that should be in a knife maker's workshop. This is one of the hidden perks of all those tours. Learning the tricks of other trades. Here's how she looks after some 320 grit. Everything is 320 grit. Not going to go further for now because I need you to experiment with our finishing protocols. We have a number of things that we need to achieve at the same time. Number one, the Damascus steel edge needs to have an etch to it. We do that using an acid, either ferric chloride or gator piss, and it etches away one of the grades of steel but leaves the other one untouched. So we need to etch the Damascus steel without destroying the titanium. Titanium is supposed to be quite resistant to corrosion, but the big question is, how does that play out in the real world? How does it play out when it's connected to the steel? How does it play out when there's nickel in between it? All things we've got to find out. And then point two is the titanium needs a finish. We need the beautiful titanium colors from anodizing. When we do that beautiful anodizing, are we going to ruin our Damascus? Are we going to do it with heat anodizing that has the potential of ruining the temperature of the steel? Or are we going to do it with electrical anodizing that has its own issues? Because once the steel is in there, it doesn't react the same way. All of these things to figure out what do we do before the other, that's what we have to figure out. That's why I'm panicking. And so we're going to start blindly experimenting. Start with a little bit of ferric chloride. Get a little stand here. In a few seconds. Okay, the titanium appears untouched. However, the steel, Damascus steel, looks a lot blacker than usual. After a few seconds in the acid, it usually does not look completely black. Rinse it off in some water.
Wait, that's Greek yogurt.
Oh, shoot! In that case, what did I have for breakfast? It's not exactly what we're trying to do, but by God, that looks cool, doesn't it? Oh, we're definitely getting some pattern. So I think the answer is yes. Ferric chloride will still etch our steel in the presence of titanium. Zero effect on the titanium. I especially love it on this side where there's a little bit more titanium removed than on this side here. Have that peeking through, eh? The next test is our coffee. After that little 2000 grit scrub that we just did in regular Damascus steel helps really darken up the 1080 into that contrasting black that we need. Yeah! That's gonna look epic. Now, onto the titanium. The colors seem to be more pungent with heat anodizing than electrical anodizing. I don't know why that tickled me to use the word pungent for a color.
What a weird word to use for that.
But doesn't that work? You know what you're talking about when you say a pungent color.
Not really, no.
What do you think when I say pungent color?
It smells.
Oh, well, there we go. Right. The colors are more vibrant and deep with heat anodizing than electrical anodizing. So in an ideal world, we just throw a torch on this, heat it up till the colors are pretty, and call it good. But we don't live in an ideal world because we need to remember this right there. That's a hardened and tempered steel edge. This edge was tempered at 230 degrees Celsius, which means that I can lift the temperature of this whole thing to 230 degrees Celsius and not negatively affect the structure of the steel in the bit. It'll stay just as it stays. However, if we go above that point, we're going to be softening it. We will lose its temper, and as a result, so will I. To get the colors out of the titanium, we need to bring it to 385 degrees Celsius, all the way to 900 degrees Celsius. That's the whole range before it becomes incandescent and oxidizes and looks ugly. 230 degrees Celsius, 385 degrees Celsius.
Well, it sounds like you can't do it, is what you just told me.
Unless we can find a way to keep the steel cool, the titanium hot. Obvious answer here, we dip the steel in water, heat the rest of it with a torch.
This is yogurt. You've done that twice today.
The trouble with that is you then end up with an ugly line from your yogurt that's just straight across. No. Look at that awesome little wavy stuff we got going on both sides. So we need it to be cool here, but there needs to be some sort of a gradient where the temperature is cool and isn't cool. It can't just be I'm cold, I'm hot. It needs to be I'm freezing cold. Ooh, I'm getting a little bit warm. I'm boiling hot. You know what that makes me think about? Air curtains. B flat.
I think D minor, like your nickname.
A lot more air here than there. I thought there'd be more air here than there. Guess it kind of works.
We're gonna have a little thermocouple here as well.
Wow! It's starting, Jamie. Thermocouple is only 55 degrees. It's almost too good at blocking the heat. Colors look so good. I just want them to come further down.
How good this looks is the reason that we have been heading down this rabbit hole of welding titanium to steel for the last 7 months or so, because if I can get this transition right, by goodness are we onto something. It's just that transition, guys. Now, you know what's not difficult? That's buying my favorite underwear, because I know exactly where to get it. It's at meundies.com/forge. That's today's sponsor, and they have an awesome range of underwear, all styles imaginable, and in a stupendous range of colors and designs. How stupendous? I've got 2 dinosaurs in love on my underwear. But the best thing about MeUndies is that it is so comfortable. I'm so picky about underwear. I hate when it bunches. I hate underwear that doesn't breathe, and MeUndies solves this. Their incredible micro-modal fabric is light, stretchy, and so breathable. And as these summer days are coming, you need to try the comfort of their ball caddy technology. Little pouch to slip your meat and 2 veg in. Keep it off your sweaty thighs. Big fan. They don't just have underwear for the lads, they've got a whole range for the ladies as well, in addition to a range of loungewear for all of us. If you want to try the most comfortable underwear that I've ever worn, please go to meundies.com/forge. Code FORGE is going to get you up to 40% off your order, as well as free shipping on orders over $75. Please go check them out. The link is down below. Let's get back to it. It's the next morning, and as I see it, we have a fork in the road. One road tells us we're not going to be able to get the heat on the titanium close enough to the steel without ruining the steel, and so we should go down electroanodizing, either the whole thing or fading electroanodizing into heat anodizing. The other fork in the road, I think, leads towards improving our air curtain setup, making it more precise. I really don't like what the water cooling did to the finish on the titanium. I'm also quite worried about the brass, because it did manage to scuff up that Damascus steel a little bit. Despite that, I am gonna try and refine our air curtain. Instead of a slot, we're gonna go with some holes. We're gonna make a way tighter fit to the blade, since we found that the amount of air coming up here stopped this portion from getting hot, and hopefully we'll be winning. Ta-da! Indicator arm, thermocouple. Ooh! I'm gonna try changing tip, more accurate heat. It definitely looks better than it did, but it's not the gradient I was hoping for. It's not the gradual change into color. We did really well in terms of keeping the edge cool. You can see the fresh temper colors on the steel. It's only straw here, which means we definitely kept the steel safe. And it does mean that we could push it further, bringing the heat down. I don't know, it's just, my gut is not confident about this. So we're gonna try a little bit of a hybrid here. Oh, hello. Oh, hello. Oh, well, goodness gracious. That might be our strategy, Jamie. It's a bit splotchy because the finishes are a little bit different, but I think an electroanodized fade could be our strategy. I think that's the ticket. Heat anodize, fade in to the electroanodize, and I think we're gonna be winning. And now we need to test the actual edge. To test the edge and test the axe, we need to make a test handle. There is a theme here. So as quick as possible, I need to fit a handle to this thing. This is some ash. We've got something much nicer for the final one.
What do you mean it's ash? It's in one piece. So are you telling me that you are potentially now about to throw 5, 6, 7,000 pounds in the bin?
Yes, because if this breaks, I can't sell it. It fills me with a little bit of dread. We got an edge on her, whacked a little secondary bevel on there. Let's cut. It has been weeks of work into this axe. It could sell for thousands and thousands of pounds, or I could be about to destroy it. Let's see if a 0.2mm nickel interlayer and a weld at 875 degrees Celsius was strong enough for that Damascus edge to stay attached to this titanium Damascus body. Nothing so far. Oh, there doesn't appear to be any delamination. How many 2x4s do you think we need to cut through to say that this thing's good? And the steel's still good.
Yeah!
We did it! No delamination, still in one piece. So now we disassemble everything. Every single surface on the axe needs to be re-hand sanded to a very fine finish. We need to reheat anodize, re-electro-anodize, re-etch the Damascus, and make a much nicer American walnut handle. A lot of time has gone into this puppy, and I am just so happy. I'm so happy it's done. I'm so happy with how it turned out. We've learned a lot along the way. Most of all, I'm so grateful that you were here, allowing us the opportunity to give this a shot. I'm very happy to say, I think we pulled it off. This thing is now going to be up for sale on the website. If you're interested, please let us know what you'd like us to make in the comments down below. And of course, thank you to MeUndies for sponsoring this. Use code FORGE at checkout. The link is down below.